Okay, today we're going to page 78. For those of you on the video, this is the book we are using. Or you can use the latest version of SD 2.11a. In 11b, there are two suttas today. Two short suttas about punya. You look at the title on page 78, right at the top, the black print, Punya Metta Sutta, right? So you can hear from the sound, punya, you can see the N has got a wiggly symbol on the top. So that's why nya, okay? Punya, alright? And then metta, now you see the A has got a line. The line over the A is called a macron. Macron, that means it makes it long. 2 bits, okay? 2 bits. And in other words, 1, 2, like that. Metta, okay? Sutta. The discourse on loving kindness as marriage. So both the sutta talks about marriage. Punya. Remember last lesson we talked about punya also. So just by way of revision, these two concepts are very important. Before Buddhism, there was only one concept, punya. That means you perform the right ceremonies, you perform all the rituals, you get this merit. And this is the old belief, not Buddhist, old belief. It's very important you get the right priest to chant for you. In fact, this is what a lot of Buddhists who are ignorant, they do. They just perform rituals without knowing it, especially when someone dies. They just do the rituals because actually they perform the rituals not because of religion, They're more worried that people will talk bad about them, right? So they perform, these are social practices. In other words, they don't really help the dead. Remember in our study about marriage and dedication of marriage, how to pray for the dead, the most important thing is what? What is the most important quality you must have when you do all these prayers for the dead? Do you remember? What's the most important quality? Loving kindness. You must have loving kindness. If you have no loving kindness, all your prayers are useless. It's just words. It's just like I look at you, no, but my heart is not there. I just say, oh, be well and happy, but no feeling. It's not good. So when someone passes away or you love someone, you must show the loving kindness. You get together, you do this meditation, you do the chanting with loving kindness, meaning you remember the good things the person has done. That's called punya. That's the real meaning of punya according to the Buddha. The old meaning is simply performing everything correctly. This one so many things, that one so many times, must chant this so many times. That is for the priest. The priest to show you how powerful it is, how magical it is. But it's all about money. It's not about what is good, alright? What is good comes from your heart. You must do it yourself. You do it yourself. Just like you have done loving kindness just now, that's the kind. You get to that kind of state. You visit your friend who is sick. You visit someone who is troubled. Someone comes to you with a problem. We don't like to listen to people's problems. It's not very happy. But you have a loving kindness. You listen, this person will become healed, become very happy. One of my happiest counseling sessions was also the shortest. Counseling normally very long, can last up to 2 hours, That's a way of listening. So this person came, first of all, counselors never give advice. You give advice, your karma, because the person follow your advice, good or bad, good, okay. If something bad happens, your karma also. So I asked this person, okay, tell me, what is it you want to talk about? So the person explained all the difficulties, suffering he has. And after 15 minutes, he said, oh, I feel very good, I've told you all my troubles. Now I feel I got no more trouble already. So thank you for listening. Problem solved. I didn't say a single word. So, good counseling also means good listening, intelligent listening. We call it deep listening. Alright? No need to give advice. You listen, make the person talk, because the person is the source of the problem. So the person also will know how to solve the problem. So this person will say, now I know what to do. See? So that's perfect situation. And that's Buddhist counseling. Of course, sometimes we need to help them a bit, teach them how to not to be stressed, to be happy. So coming back to punya, punya means merit. It means the good things that you do. For example, you keep precepts. It is called punya. You give dana. It's called punya. Okay. Even when you bring small things here, like food, you share with each other. You bring it to your house, or your friend's house, or you bring it to the temple, or you give to your neighbor. You give with a happy heart. That's punya. But for it to be kusala, for it to be wholesome, you must make it completely good. In other words, when you prepare the food, you're happy. When you give it, you're also happy, right? When after that also you're happy. You don't count how much benefit, right? So what benefit do I get? You're just happy. Then that's called wholesome, kusala. Kusala, what's the difference between punya and kusala? Kusala is wholesome, right? That's the higher kind of goodness in Buddhism. Punya is good and bad. Punya keeps you in this world, in samsara. You do a lot of good deeds, you are reborn, beautiful, happy, rich, a lot of friends. And so the sutta always tell you, the Buddha will say, wonderful things that he got and he became because of merits. Kusala, for example, kusala also includes meditation, practice of these precepts, which helps you in your meditation. So when you meditate, you are at peace with yourself. There's no goal, you don't aim for anything, just peace of mind. That's called kusala, skillful. Why? Because this skillfulness, this wholesomeness, is building your foundation to free yourself from suffering, free yourself from this world. Now when we say world, what does it mean? Buddha is an arahat, he is awakened, He's free from the world, he's still in the world, until he passes away. You got three meanings of world. First meaning of world is the world, physical world. Okay, what is called the world of space and time. That world is, in a sense, more or less always there, if you like. Of course, the world will end billions and billions of years more, but you can say for the moment it is sort of permanent, stable, if you like. Then the second one is the world of beings. That's you and I, right? And this is the world we send our loving kindness to, right? The third one is the most tricky one. That's the world of formations. That means our mind creates all kind of ideas. We create our own world, the virtual world. We see someone, we don't really see the person, we don't know the person. We use our past memory and then we do like jigsaw puzzles. This person is like that. So we have an idea of this person. And then you say, I like this person, I don't like this person. Just like on Facebook, you find on social media, you have all kind of ideas about other people. So it's like that. That is why we do loving kindness. May all beings be well and happy. And then we say, I accept you just as you are, because I don't know who you are really. So I want to start there. I'm going to listen to you, watch you, and get to know you better. And then slowly I understand you better. Then I can communicate with you, tell you what's good, what's bad. Right? That's the friendship, true friendship. Okay? So you get to know each other, in other words. So there are many, many benefits of kusala, wholesomeness. The most important thing is wholesomeness makes you strong enough, wise enough to understand the nature of impermanence. You say, wow, everything is impermanent in this world. So you reflect in that way. This is the key teaching in Buddhism. A lot of these teachers, they never teach us all these things. I have my students in Malaysia. They've been going to this temple for 20 over years. And so one of the ladies complained. They said, we have come to this temple for 20 over years. All they teach us chanting, transference of merit, donations, and that's it. Never teach us what the Buddha taught us. The Buddha teaches us we can awaken in this life itself. We always hear, become arahat, very difficult. I can never become arahat. Fine, very hard to become arahat here, because arahat, you got to give up all your defilements and desires. Very difficult. Easier for the monks and nuns. But there are 4 kinds of stages, 4 kinds of saints. Arahat is the highest, the stage for the Buddha. The first stage is very easy. First stage is called stream winning, or stream entrance, if you like. Stream is like river, but this river goes into the ocean, that is samsara. Okay, when you become stream winner, you go to the boat goes upstream. If you go to Taman Negara, the Malaysian National Park, we take this long boat, about 10 or 12 people can sit inside. The boat moves upstream. They got 2 powerful motors, okay, that is sila and samadhi, okay, and then the boat is panya, wisdom, okay. So it's powerful motor. The boat goes upstream all the way against the flow. Takes about 4 hours to reach our camp. So when you tell yourself, I want to become a streamer, you go down into this boat called the Dhamma, okay? And the boat also moves upstream towards the ancient city called Nirvana. In this life, the Buddha said, in this life itself, you can attain stream winning. If not, certainly at the moment of passing away. Because you have habitually practiced precepts, you practice impermanence, your mind is used to it. Your mind easily let go of defilements, negative state, because you say everything is impermanent. Then you're not afraid. So when you pass away, you're at peace. Next life, you become stream winner. The Buddha taught that, in chapter 25 of Samyutta Nikaya, 10 suttas. So these people in KL, a group of them, about 30 of them, very happy. They said, wow, we are very happy to discover this. We all want to become stream winners. Alright? So, that's it. You just say, I want to be a stream winner. So every time you do something good, after meditation, after you keep precepts, you go for retreat, you say, I want to be a stream winner. May I be strong enough to be a stream winner? May I be wise enough to be a stream winner in this life? Don't say next life, because next life you don't know, You become a cat or a dog. How to become stream winner? You become a orangutan in the zoo. How to become stream winner? You become a preta, cannot become stream winner. Deva are too playful. Some devas can become stream winners, but very difficult. Right? If you are a hell being, suffering all the time. If you are a human being, maybe if you meet a good teacher, but most teachers teach the wrong things nowadays. So now is the best time. Just make this wish. Make this aspiration. I want to be stream winner in this life. Then your life will be guided by this idea. It's just like you remember there's the lotus in your heart, loving kindness. So you get angry, you say, oh no, this lotus is loving kindness. I must show loving kindness. Then you won't get angry. You have a problem, you are at peace because you remember there is this goodness inside you. Alright? So, you have these 2 concepts. Punya, meaning you do good things, which keep you in this world. Whereas kusala helps you to be free from the world. But here, the Buddha is telling you how to get the benefit of both. So, the first sutta says you use metta also. And then the second sutta is very interesting. Second sutta is on page 81. Second sutta is Ma Punya Bhayi Sutta. Ma means don't. Don't. And then Bhayi. Bhayi means afraid. To be afraid. So don't be afraid. Page 81. At the top. Punya means merit. So don't be afraid of merit. So this is the second sutta. Okay. All right. Let's look at the first sutta where the Buddha says, okay, you can still perform all these rituals, but do it in the Buddhist way. That means loving kindness. Don't forget loving kindness. Let's see what are the benefits the Buddha received when he practiced all this merit. Look at page 78 now. Somewhere in the middle, the discourse on loving kindness as merit. Can you see that? Okay. What is the number of this sutta? Reference? A7.58a. A7.58a. So either you remember the number or you remember the title. Verse 1, section 1. Bhikshus are the monks. Be not afraid of merit. Here also the sutta starts with the same word. The Buddha said, don't be afraid of merits. Don't be afraid of doing good. This merit is another name for happiness. There you are. Okay. So when you pray for the dead, for your loved ones, you must have happiness inside you. It's not that you're happy this person has died. You are happy because you remember all the good things this person has done. In Buddhism, this is something I want to remind you. You don't hear this very often. We all are afraid of dying, right?
No.
But there is no such thing as death. You know why? The moment someone dies, the person is reborn. It's reborn maybe as a human being somewhere else, as a baby somewhere else. Or maybe, sadly, be reborn in the lower realms. Okay? If he's born as an animal, you can't pray for him. But it's good to take loving care of the pets. You can never know, could be your relative. Or reborn as an asura, fierce demon. Alright? Or reborn as hell being, violent being. You can't pray for them. Because they are different worlds. Different planets, if you like. But the pretas, these pretas are very attached to their old conditions, so they come back. Or they can't get out of their old place, they get stuck there. You know? For example, if they love, say they come back to their old homes usually. And they can't communicate because they are not humans anymore, they don't have all these vocal cords, so they cannot communicate with you. They can only make funny sounds. Actually, they are more scared of you than you are scared of them. But because we are ignorant of them, we fear them. They need your kindness. Imagine, let's say, you are suddenly invisible. Then you go around with your relatives, you know them very well, you love them, but you can't communicate with them. How? But you can hear what they're talking about you, you know. So if they talk bad things, you'll be happy, you know. If they don't mention you at all, you're not happy. But if they get together, they say, we miss so-and-so. We still love him or her. Well, you feel very good. Although you're invisible, right? So pretas are like that. They can sense all this. We don't know where they are or when they come. The Buddha says that there are always our past relatives who are pretas, because we've got so many relatives, many lives. We went through so many rebirths. We're all connected somehow, because the fact that we come together here for sutta study means we've got past connection. We have been brothers and sisters, husbands and wives, and uncles and aunts, grandparents to each other. Somehow there is that connection. And so here we are again. That's why it's not worth hating somebody, because when you hate someone, you bully someone or someone bully you, you will continue next life. So it's not worth it. That's why we must learn to show loving kindness even to our enemies. Next life become friends. Especially people you're married to. You must be kind and nice to them. But you'll meet again. See? So that's loving kindness. So this is the merit. You create this merit. If you do good merit, you are blessed with wonderful things. Bad you don't call merits, bad karma. Then you'll be reborn in the lower state as animals, ugly, always sick, things like that, Here this is happy one. So the Buddha said, alright, it's another word for happiness. For I know very well, I have for a long time experienced the desirable, pleasant and agreeable fruits of meritorious deed often performed. So this is the Buddha talking. Meritorious deed, good deeds often perform. Actually, here often perform means your karma. In another sutta, the Velama Sutta, the Buddha said, even if you reflect on impermanence for 1 second, your merit, your blessing is really great. Just 1 second you think, wow, everything is impermanent. You really accept it. You have opened your mind up to the Dhamma. It starts there. Even the longest journey must start with the first step. So that's the first step. Okay, now the Buddha talks about himself. He says, for 7 years, I cultivated the thoughts of loving kindness. The Buddha liked to say 7 years. You can take the number more or less, okay, 7 years. 7 isn't to be a lucky number, okay? It's a prime number. Having cultivated a heart full of loving kindness for 7 years, I did not return to this world for 7 eons of world contractions and world expansion. He practiced 7 years of loving kindness as a meditating recluse, holy man. For 7 world cycles, he is not born on earth. Neither is born in the heavens. As a very powerful deva. So whenever the world was destroyed, I was reborn among the devas of streaming radiance. These devas of streaming radiance they're quite high in the first jhana. Okay, so it is said that when our physical universe is destroyed, only the physical world is destroyed. The form world is not destroyed. Okay, so the good beings will be reborn there. So the Buddha is saying he was born many times as a high deva, okay, by practicing loving kindness. Right? In fact, Brahma Vihara, Brahma means high God, you see? Or Vihara means abode, a living place. No? So Brahma Vihara translate as the practice of the God, so the high God. No? Now, Buddhism, we don't believe all this creator God, high God, the big capital H God, We just say there are devas, but they're also impermanent. But if you really want to think of a high God, what makes a high God? What are the qualities? In Buddhism, no such thing as angry God, punishing people. Because it's karma. You punish people, you got karma too, So the high gods, they have done good merit, so they're born up there. So number one, this God like Brahma has got great love. Loving kindness. So Buddhism has loving God. And then number two, he has compassion. What does this mean? Loving kindness means he look at us and say, okay, these are all nice human beings. I accept them. I accept all of you just as you are. That's the first one. First quality of Mahabrahma, the great high God. Number two, he has compassion. He sees you suffering. He wants you to be well. There's one problem, you see, there's only one Brahma, but so many of you, so you can't go around helping you all the time. That's why there is a saying, the gods help those who help themselves. That's just an excuse, meaning this God's too busy to help. So you better do it yourself. On my Facebook, I have a lot of Filipinos, and they're all, wow, this is the second most Christian country in Asia, I think. Everything God. So they will have one picture, they said, please type Amen. I type Namo Buddhaya. Okay, I mean, it's okay, I'm not Christian. And then they like to say all these things. I ask myself, these people after that, they show picture of them drinking, happy, I don't know how they can combine all these two together, So today is a ritual. So one day I wrote, I said, you do all these things, but you must practice, God help those who help themselves. Right? So occasionally I just smuggle some Buddhist teachings and tell them how to open up their mind again. Only one day a week, Sunday only, they are well behaved. So I said, today, how come you don't chat so much? Oh, today's Sunday. One Monday to Saturday, you can talk anything in the world. So no wonder they're very happy. They don't take religion seriously. So, but Brahma is different. Brahma always kind. He accepts you as you are. There are many Brahmas, okay, but only one high Brahma. And then number 2, if you are suffering, he is compassionate to you. Number 3, if you are good, he is happy. Like when the Buddha comes to the world, Brahma is very happy. But then he also knows that no matter what he is, the world, there is always suffering in the world. So Brahma remains calm in his own meditative realm. He lives in a higher realm, high level of heaven. So these are the 4 qualities of Brahma. You can call this godliness if you like. Number 1 is loving kindness. Number 2, compassion. Number 3, gladness. Number 4, equanimity. I was thinking, wow, all these 4 words are quite big words, So I like single sound Anglo-Saxon words. So I thought to myself, what 4 words can I use to replace these 4 big words for the quality of godliness? So I use 4 beautiful words. If you really want to behave godlike, you must, number 1, have love. Love Buddhist way, not the movie kind of love, okay? Number 2, you must have ruth, compassion. This word ruth is forgotten, It's an old English word, ruth. You heard of the word ruthless, right? But you never heard of ruth. I said, that's not fair, When you talk about ruthless, ruth means cruel, What about ruth? Ruth means good, compassionate, Then I check, if the best dictionary you can check whether the word is possible or not is the, 15 volume, I think, Oxford English Dictionary. Huge, I bought this version at a discount, so very happy I have. I think I'm the only one in Jurong East who got it, I think. Maybe in the library, okay? Library probably have one, so my house got one. It's all in this, right? So I look up, oh yeah, that's the word there. But it says, not used, obsolete.
Why?
Because no one uses it. So I said, okay, I'm going to start using it again. That's the privilege of a translator, you see? So I put it in my translation. Love, ruth, joy, the last one is peace. So easy to remember, right? 4 wonderful qualities. Cultivate. Then you are godlike, okay? Alright, so the Buddha became Mahabrahma. There you are, it says, look at the next, verse 3. When the world unfolded, in other words, opened up again, I was reborn in an empty Brahma Vimana, or Brahma palace. In other words, a Brahma, like the house in heaven, like that. Because this house is more like, I don't know how to say, like a spaceship. It moves around, So the Brahma is inside, he moves around with it. Right? And there I was Mahabrahma, there you are, the great God. The unconquered, conqueror, almighty. These are only 3 titles. The other Brahma was not enlightened, his title very long, The less enlightened they are, the longer titles they need. And then 36 times I was Sakra, leader of the Devas. So he was reborn 36 times as Lord Sakra, the Tawatingsa Deva. In Chinese we call Ting Kong, this is the one. And many hundred times I was a universal monarch, a just and righteous king. At first I thought this world monarch is like Alexander, actually it's not. You see, this world monarch doesn't conquer anyone. He has a powerful army, but wherever he goes, the small king see, wow, his army is so big, say, don't fight, I pay tribute to you. So this powerful king just goes around and he becomes ruler of the whole civilized ancient world. So that's called Chakravarti, the world monarch. Okay, so the Buddha said he was many hundred times the kind of ruler of the world. Okay, and there were bhikshus, these 7 jewels. Okay, so this great king has got 7 jewels, which show that he has the power. He's the king. The first jewel, what is it called? The wheel jewel. Okay, the wheel jewel is something like a bright circle applied, like a sun. Like the moon or something bright appear in the sky to show he becomes king. All the stories, these kings, they'll see something bright in the sky, and that shows that they're powerful. That's the wheel jewel. The elephant jewel, they got this very powerful elephant, and the horse jewel, very fast horse. The gem jewel, they got this very bright, like diamond like that, to show they are very rich, very powerful. Even the Queen of England has got the, I don't know what it's called, a Blue Hope or something, very big diamond, the biggest diamond in the world, And then there is the woman jewel, where he's the king, so he has the beautiful queen. The householder jewel, this is the treasurer, he's got this treasurer who knows where to get money. And then he has this advisor jewel, okay, who tells him how to fight, okay, how to have the army and so on. So these are his 7 special blessings, right? When he's the king of the world. Further bhikshus, another 1,000 were my sons. Okay, this one is normal, those centuries ago, the king of Thailand also had 1,000 sons. He has many wives. One main wife, but hundreds of concubines. Baby producers. You know why the king needs this? Because he wants soldiers who are loyal to him. So if you have children, of course, you'll be loyal to the father. The Chinese emperor also said, so he has lots of children. So these children who can join the army is very safe. This is the old imperial way. We don't follow this method in the politics of Singapore, fortunately. Okay, so we are a democracy, we are a republic, right? So you have this 1,000 sons of the world monarch, brave, heroic in limb and form, the crusher of enemies of others, armies of others, victorious over the earth, surrounded by the ocean. I rule with neither rod nor sword. In other words, he does not punish anyone, he does not kill anyone, because people love this king, they're kind to this king. Everyone is rich and happy. It's an ideal world. This is called utopia. Okay? So these are just ideas of the ideal world. Right? So the Buddha says he ruled justly. Of course, we may say, wow, all these are nice stories, This story is important in the sense that the Buddha or the storytellers are trying to compare. They say, okay, you have 2 kinds of world leader. They can become very powerful world leader, or they can become a truly great teacher. So when Siddhartha was a child, he was born, these fortune tellers came and told the king, your son, if he remains at home, he become a great king. He will rule all of India. They were very powerful in those days. But the politics of India at that time was very uncertain. I've written in detail why I think Siddhartha gave up the idea of becoming the ruler of India. This book is called The Miraculous Life of Gautama Buddha. It will appear as a free book for Vesak. Some people are going to donate, going to print this book. So very interesting research I've done on the miraculous life of the Buddha from the time he was born until just before he became Buddha. All the stories, lots of miracles. So I explain all these miracles. Alright, so this fortune teller said if he remains at home, he will become this great king of whole of India, the whole civilized world. If he leaves home, he will become a world teacher. Today we know the Buddha is a world teacher. Other religions are also practicing meditation now. Okay? Alright, so this is our Buddha. Alright, then the sutta summarizes in verses. Everything is summarized in verse. I will read only the translation. Look at number 4. See the wholesome fruit of the happiness seeker's merit. See, having cultivated a loving kind mind for 7 years, bhikshus, after 7 world cycles of shrinking and expanding, I return not to this world. See what the Buddha said earlier, he put into poem. And then number 5, when the world rolled back, I arrived in Abhasara world. Roll back, that means the world collapsed, universe end. He was reborn in a higher heaven. When the world rolled open, I arrived in an empty Brahma world. So he became the first great God to be reborn in the new universe. Next, 6. For 7 times, Mahabrahma Almighty, such was I. 30 times I rule as Sakra, Lord of the Devas. He's born in the heavenly worlds. Then 7. As a world monarch was I, a lord of Jambu Dvipa. Okay, this is the name of ancient India. A head anointed Kshatriya. Kshatriya means king. The overlord of men was I. Okay, so even in this world, he was a great king. 8. This world I conquered without rod or sword, without violence, admonishing justly and harmoniously, impartially. You know, I was just thinking about this verse. See, I conquered this world without punishing anyone, without violence, without killing. There is no such king that we know of in our history. All kings kill, right? But can you imagine someone who rules the world today, but is not violent? He brings benefit to everyone. Who would that be? No, someone's still alive. Someone's still alive. Okay? The only person I can think of is the UN Secretary General. You know what I mean? Because he rules this big gathering of world representatives. You know? Of course, he has no real power, but he can bring peace. So you can imagine it. The Buddha is talking something very futuristic, you know. It's about someone who is the leader of the world, but he only rules with peace, non-violence. Interesting, right? So just imagine all this teaching. The Buddha didn't talk all this things just for small talk, you know. It's something that we got to reflect and think about. Huh? Okay, let's continue. Number 9, verse 9. I rule justly in this circle of the earth. Families grew wealthy, great in wealth, grew in enjoyment. Well, like Singapore, huh? Everybody is rich here. Almost everybody is rich here, so to speak. At least we don't go hungry. So this universal monarch brings prosperity to everybody. The last, verse 10. Now comes the more Buddhist or Dhamma side. All sense pleasures were fulfilled through the 7 jewels. The Buddhas have thoroughly taught in the world. But in a sense, you know, you're right. You see, because like in Singapore, you know, KY says, okay, you know, pay the ministers good pay. It's like the universal emperor says, okay, you got 7 jewels, everybody rich, you know. So if the ministers are all rich, they won't be corrupt, you see. Right? I mean, if you join the parliament, you get well paid, right? So, and if you study hard, you're qualified, you get a good job, you're also well paid, right? So it's something like that. Looking on the good side, right? Of course, the bad side is people still complain. Anyway, that's another matter, which we can deal with as time passes. All right, 11. This, it is said, is the cause of becoming a great earth ruler, world ruler, abundant in wealth and means. A glorious king was I. So you want peace in the country? You want peace in the world? You must make sure everybody has got their basic needs. Maybe not wealth, but enough food and clothing and comfort. There will be peace. If people are wealthy and happy, they would not go to war. World War I, World War II started because somebody is not happy. Somebody thought they were not well treated. The country was not well treated. Right? In fact, nowadays you find no country is foolish enough to go to war. Right? Because they know the economic cost is not worth it. And that's a good sign. 12. Accomplished and famous was I as Lord of Jambudvipa, who, hearing this, would not have faith, even the swarthy low-born. So I said, well, even the common people also will feel happy, think of this wonderful world ruler. The last verse. Therefore, for those wishing for well-being, those yearning for greatness, should revere the true teaching, recollect the Buddha's teaching. This last verse is for us. So notice here, the Buddha is not just talking about himself. He's saying, look, I can do this, okay, this happened to me, okay, yes. But if you practice the same things I practice, you also will get the same benefits. Right? So there you are. The Buddha is not keeping secret teaching. He said, you practice merit, you also become rich and respectful. Right? So, being rich is a wonderful thing for a Buddhist, but being wise is even better. So if you are rich and wise, oh, this is wonderful. You can do a lot of things. Because if you are rich, then you can help a lot of people who are suffering, prevent them from becoming criminals, make them, train them to develop great minds, become future leaders. That's why there are scholarships today, because we want our children to be given the best chance to become good future leaders. Otherwise, they become criminals. You know who are the greatest criminals? They are the most intelligent people who could not become their potential to be good. So they need to be helped. That is why in Buddhism, we don't punish criminals. The Buddha met the worst criminal. Who was that? Angulimala, serial murderer, looking for 1,000 fingers. He just killed someone just to take one finger as a gift to the teacher. The stupid teacher wants 1,000 fingers, Actually, he wants to get Angulimala killed, but Angulimala was a young and strong person, so he actually killed more than 1,000 people. Because the first few fingers he lost them, so he kept on killing. That is why we got to be kind to people. You may say, oh, I'm only kind to one person. You can never know. This one person will become future leader, future prime minister. Right? So, in goodness, you cannot measure. You be kind to one person, you might not know this person. In future, they come back, they say, you remember, you helped me, and you feel so happy you have done that. There are many fairy tales that tell of these things, A young soldier meets an ugly old woman who say, can you please carry me to the village? And this soldier seems stupid, we laugh at him. So he carried this old lady to the village. And when he reached the village, this lady turned a beautiful fairy, and he grant him 3 wishes. Of course, the fairy tales limit their 3 wishes only. But Buddhism, Buddha says, if your mind, if you are a meditator, is a wishing jewel. Anything you wish for can happen. Good things. By the way, when you do meditation, you wish for bad things also can happen. But believe me, it's not worth it. It's very stupid. Creating a bomb in your own head. What for? So we only do good things. Remember, your mind is that magic wishing jewel. The philosopher's stone, or whatever you call it. Alright, so that's the end of this first sutta. So we'll take a short break.